solve a matrix minus a matrix times some matrix B equals a matrix. Well, the way I'm going to start this problem out is the way I would start out any two-step equation. Subtract the thing that's floating around. So I'm going to subtract this matrix that's floating around. I'm going to subtract -3, 7 from both sides. I am allowed to do that because on the right side I have a 2 by 1, and a 2 by 1 minus a 2 by 1 is perfectly legit. Pure legitness. So I can cross u out. Now what I'm left with, and I'm going to need all the space I can, is -3, 0, 5, 1 times matrix B is going to equal 21 minus -3, which is 21 plus 3, which is 24, and -39 minus 7, which is -46. All right. Now, before I go any further, that negative is just being a pain in the butt. Let's get rid of it. Let's multiply both sides by a negative, so that essentially gets rid of the negative on the left, leaving me with just the matrix on the left, and times B, of course. Can't forget that, times B. And that's going to equal -24, positive 46. Now, the rule is, if you have a matrix times a matrix equals a matrix, you can write it out as A times B equals X. The way you solve it is you essentially take the inverse matrix on the left side of both sides, that crosses out, and B times A inverse X is going to be your answer. So what I need to do is I need to find the inverse of that guy right there, so I can do the inverse times this guy and get my B. All right, so let's erase all of this, and let's go off to the side and find the inverse of B, or of A rather. Okay, so I'll call you A. You're now A. The inverse of A is going to be 1 over the determinant. What's the determinant? AD minus BC. So AD minus BC multiplied to U flip-flopping the A and the D elements, and then U swapping the signs of B and C. So what that's going to look like for us, A inverse, is going to be 1 over A times D, which is -3, minus BC, which is 0 times 5. Well, that's good news. You I forgot to do it. You flip-flopping the A and the D, perfect, is going to look like 1 and -3. And then you making the B and C negative is not going to do anything to 0, but it's going to make that 5 -5. All right, so just to save some space, -3 minus 0 is just -3. So I have 1 over -3, like that, or -1 over 3, however you want to view it. So the A inverse is going to equal -1/3, 0, positive 5/3, 1. So B is going to be me multiplying -1/3, 0, 5/3, 1 to -24 and 46. Okay, we have ourselves a 2 by 2 being multiplied to a 2 by 1. So this is legal. And we're going to get ourselves a 2 by 1. So 2 rows, 1 column. Okay, -1/3 times -24 is basically the same thing as saying positive 24 divided by 3, which is 8. So I should split that to make it look better. Plus 0, that's good news. So let's scooch you over. 5/3 times -24 is essentially saying -24 divided by 3, which is 8. -8 times 5 is -40, plus 46. So at the end of the day, B is going to equal 8, 6. And what that means is if I were to multiply U to 8, 6, and then make it negative and then add negative 3 over 7, I get 21 over negative 39. Awful, but I did it.